Okay, today we're going to talk about textured mugs. Let's get a bag of clay out. I like to smack it on the floor a couple times to there's a gel in commercial clay. I don't know what it's for, but they say it's in there, and if you bang it on the floor a couple times, it loosens the clay back up. So if you've got clay sitting around for a while, bang it on the floor. Cutting off just a little bit here. I'm going to do like just one mug, so that's all I need. Mugs are running around £1.5 pounds, I think, for the mugs I make. And you'll see what I mean later on. Now take it over to slab roller. Pull out those extra boards that I have in there. Pound down the front so it goes into the roller a little bit easier. Crank it through and watch your fingers. I run it through 2 times. I'll do the first level, first thickness, I guess. Then I'll peel it up, turn it sideways, and do it again. Only this time with another board under it. I end up with about a 1/2 inch thick slab of clay. Now we'll peel that up and take it over to the table. I've got a template I use that's just cut out of an old piece of plastic. This is the approximate size I use for making a mug. If you make a bunch of these at regular intervals, then you'll probably want to make a template of your own. Cut off a little chunk here on the bottom, or on the side, I guess, for the bottom. And there we have our slab for the mug. Now I grab out my texture making tools here. All right, and basically it's a box full of old printing press, I guess, whatever they are, whatever you call them, dies or whatever. And then I use some roller stamps also. This is a little floral one. Notice the direction I'm going from I'm on the long side with these. When you roll these up, you don't want to go short side because you'll end up having just straight up and down textures. You want something that wraps around the mug. That's a little homemade die right there. Now I take our printing press stamps and I just push them into clay, just randomly. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Believe me, when you get to the finished product, it gives you something to look at. It's kind of neat. Now I want to lay this texture side down. I got a pool noodle and a piece of paper. The piece of paper looks pretty ratty, but I like using the well-used piece of paper because it's got a lot of clay in it, and it kind of releases from the body a little bit easier. Roll over until it touches, and then I cut off about 1 inch. Just throw it off to the side, and then I'll throw a little piece of foam down, because I don't want to mess up my texture I already had. And don't worry about scoring and slipping because this clay is all the same consistency, so it should just stick together pretty easy. Another little homemade stamp there. Putting a little texture on the seam. I like to roll the seam down flat so it's not that thick there. Then I got another little doodad I made up. It's got a couple wires on it. That's the right height for my mugs, or for the start of my mugs, I guess. Well, push out the pool noodle, do that first, and then you roll your paper out. See how easy that paper came out? That's because it's got clay on it, clay dust. Now at the wheel, I'll put that little square I cut off earlier, and I'll put it down, and I'll kind of pat it around a little bit, make sure it's stuck pretty good. And then I want to cut out a circle out of it. Now the circle's probably, I'd say 4 inches maybe. It's whatever size mug you're making. Mine happens to work out to be about 4 inches. And you see where it's a good scoring tool. If you can find one, grab it. I take the cylinder I made earlier and I give it a little wiggle, make sure it's stuck and it's centered on that disc. It's pretty easy to center it on there, you can see there. I take my finger and I'll pull up the bottom and seal it to the sides. Now this is the height of my mug right there. That needle stuck in a piece of wood. Like I said, I make a bunch of these, so I use consistent tools. Now that's a little wooden throwing stick, a little finger tool, and I just use that to kind of smooth out the seam inside and also down toward the bottom. Now I'm using a wet sponge here, soaking the inside so the tools will glide easier. Now some people want to use a rib. I use the throwing stick because I like using the throwing stick. And I want to belly this out a little bit. My middle finger on my left hand is actually touching the inside of the mug, so I know that it's round, that it's coming up even. So it's not just a throwing stick. My middle finger's in there holding that down too. And we'll take it a couple times until I get it to the shape I want. You see it's getting a little bit bigger. My mugs are a little bit heavier than the normal mugs. I find that thicker mugs hold the heat better. Thermal mass kind of thing. I've gotten it to the shape I like. I'm going to bring that rim in just a little bit, curve it in a little bit. I'm going to define the lip a little bit more. Now I'm going to use a chamois to round that lip over. Gives the mug a little better mouthfeel. Now you're looking at that lip and you're saying, well, that's not even. Well, that high spot is where the handle's going to go, so I'm not too worried about it. Trim off a little bit of the base. Got a little wad of clay there, pull that off. And I'll trim that off a little bit more. Now I'm pulling out the excess water. That just helps it dry better. Dry more even. And I'll pull a spiral wire through it. And I like to have the wheel turning so it gives a nice little pattern on the bottom. Alright, so now I've got a wire tool here and I'm going to scruff up the surface where I'm putting my handles. A little water, a little wire, a little water, a little wire. Just keep doing that until you get it, scruffed up pretty good. If you think you got enough on there, then do some more. You'll appreciate it in the end. Now, I need to find out what size handle I need. I take my wire tool and I'll think that looks approximately right, and I'll lay it over on the handles that I have extruded out. So I've got an extruder behind me and I use that. And I'll take this and I'll take the mug and I'll put it up on that little red piece of foam covered PVC pipe. I can lay the handle down like this, take my wooden dowel and smooth that handle into the cup, and I'll smooth it a little bit more with my fingers. And that's stuck on pretty good. There again, there's no slip on that because the clay is pretty much the same consistency. Take my stamp, that's the Mudman, and I like to put that in the bottom of the handle. It's just good, seems like a good place to put it. Pinch off the little excess, take my wooden dowel, roll it into the mug. And then I'll kind of work that handle around to where I get it the shape I want. And I can guarantee you that handle's not going to come off. Now, you can stop right here, and it's just a nice pretty textured mug, but I like to put a little emblem on it, a little, I guess, medallion or logo or whatever you want to call it. And this is going to be an Ohio mug. I'm from Ohio, so good place to put it. And I'm using a contrasting clay of red. The red clay and the white clay, they're both stoneware. They're both fired at the same temperature, so same shrink rate, everything. So there's no problem there. Put a little stamper of a buckeye leaf on there. Hold it up, you can see what it looks like. Oh, cute. Take that wire brush again, and I put my first line down through the center where I want the logo to be, and then I just start scrumpling it up again. Is scrumple a word? Now, because I'm using that logo, it's a big area, I'm going to put a little bit of slip on this. That's what I'm reaching over for. I've got a little slip off to the side there. A little fingerful of it and smear it in there. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. That's what towels are made for. Take my logo. I'm going to score the back of it. I score just about every square inch of it. Add some water to it so it's nice and sticky. Stick it on there, and I will put my fingers on the inside to support it, and I'll press that logo into it. Then we'll wipe off the excess slip on the outside. A finger, a little there, a little more there, a little up across the top, on the side. Make sure it looks nice and pretty. And there you have it, an Ohio mug, ready to be fired. So, thanks for watching. If you have comments, if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, leave it in the comment section. And like I said before, thanks for watching.